Good afternoon, everyone. It's Nomsa here at Nkosi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. With me today, I've got Claudia, Shireen, and Rachel G. So our topic today, we are talking about the importance of taking action and staying accountable to our intentions. Are you tired of making plans and setting big intentions with your plans only to find yourself falling short of your goals? It's time to turn those good intentions into reality and tangible results. So if you're watching us, please explore the importance of taking action and staying accountable to our actions and discover the secret tips for staying motivated and overcoming setbacks along the way. Rachel, you chose the topic. Could you please explain to our audience why you chose this topic, please, and the benefits?
Certainly. First of all, it's my perspective of intention, so I'm quite curious to hear what the others have to say. So for me, the reason why I think it's important is because it directs our attention, and it's about really being more purposeful in actually pursuing what it is that we desire in life. And when it is done properly, then I think that intentions are really powerful. I noticed I didn't used to always set intentions. And I think that when you don't set intentions, what you're actually saying is, well, I'll just let my day determine how it's going to run, and it will dictate how I will feel. And so it's influencing the mood, our mood. Whereas if we actually apply an intention when we get up in the morning, for example, then we're taking control of our life and we're determining how the day is going to go, because it puts you in a place where you actually focus. And so then you're not really this victim to whatever is going on in your life. Instead, you're actually becoming this conscious creator, as I would like to say, of our day, of our life. And so, yeah, for me, intention is really an important step for any of us who are trying to achieve our goals, because it's actually something different. Intention and goals are two different things, which maybe we might cover later on. But for now, that is my reason for why I picked the topic. I'm curious to hear what the other two think of what intention is, so that before that we move on to what the benefits are.
Shireen?
Oh, there we are. Put me in the middle first. I love it. Rachel, I just love what you said there, and particularly what you said, which was, if we don't have an intention, and it's exactly what I believe, if we don't have an intention, we're almost giving responsibility away and saying, well, I will just be what you want me to be, rather than being that conscious creator. And what often happens when we don't set that intention, of course, we don't get anywhere, because we've not put our mind to the direction. The intention is like it's like having a sat nav, isn't it? So if you have a sat nav, you put your coordinates in. You may not know exactly how you're going to get there, but you know you're going to get there because you want to get there. And if you don't do that, then it's just, you kind of like the ship without a compass. You're just moving around and you're at the whim of everything else, and not at the whim of your own direction, your own directorate. So yeah, that's the thing that you said there that really resonated so strongly for me. And definitely for me, that is the amount of power that comes with an intention. It's that pure thought that comes down and it fits with your will. It fits with your will. And when your will is engaged then with your intention, then it's more likely that you won't go off track, right? Even if things happen, there's you going ahead, and you will always come back on that track. Yeah. So for me, that is what intention's about. Claudia?
Yes, absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you to very good explanation. And as well, I like to say once as well that intentions to me are a very strong form of directed energy that puts us into the driver's seat of our experiences as well and of our life. Because in the past, I was one of those people, I was just going along with the flow, and I didn't, I didn't understand all of that. But today, the version of me understands I'm the creator of my life and the future, and the future as well is not set in stone. So I can always, with my intentions and the goals as well, just like direct it and come back as well. When I drift off as well, sometimes obviously this takes practice, realizing, drifting off and then coming back into the intention, and just like focusing and going towards it is what I want. Nomsa? And what about you?
I love what you guys just said, but I had planned my day today, how it was gonna go. Everything is just gone completely. All my goals that I've written down my goals, what I need to complete today. But it seems like every goal that I've written, something seems to take over. Like I open an email, something is taking over, I'm like, oh my God. Like I was about to do something now I've got questions for that is going to take me 30 minutes. That is taking over the exams. They're coming completely to somewhere that I didn't expect. For that link that I was telling you about, they're asking me to fill up their questions and pass. If I pass, then they'll put me in their books. So I'm like, I didn't expect it. This is the day I didn't expect it to do this, but I'm going to have to do it anyway. But I like it when Rachel says you have to set up when you set your intentions, how your day is going to be like. You set up your goals and then you know how your day is going to look like, even if it doesn't turn out how you expect. But you still know that, like, now all my plans have been taken over by something else. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it shows that I don't have control over whatever I want to do. So I'm like, okay. And then I was gonna like write my proposal and things like that. But now I've just found out that I need to correct these documents that I've written. So I'm like, okay. So that's how life it is. But it is very important to follow through whatever your intentions, follow through them, and just do whatever you want to do. And I like it that Claudia says before she used to go with the flow. But for me, you know what I've done now is I plan my goals, but I have my intentions is to go with the flow so I don't get disappointed. If things don't go my way, I just go with the flow and accept it and just follow through whatever it needs to be done. And if there are problems, the issues that I didn't expect, that needs to be sorted out, and just follow through it, but going with the flow. But I don't go with the flow with plans. I just have to. I'm just realizing now everything that I planned, it doesn't go according to plan. Like I've had all this figure out. I think 2 weeks ago, I was going to plan something and do this with my daughter. She was going to do this. And then all of a sudden, I'm presented with the plans. I changed. So I'm like, okay, that's how the universe, that's how God works. So what Claudia is saying, you can go with the flow like she used to, but with goal settings and create your habits that can carry you through. For me, that's what I do. I go with the flow. And when I go with the flow, I write down all my goals. Going with the flow, it means, oh, if this goal has been taken over by something that I don't have control over or changing things around, then I just have to accept it. If it's something that I cannot accept it, I just have to pray to God and ask him to actually redesign my life the way it's meant to be if it's something that is taking me to a different path. So that's what I do. Over to you, Rachel.
Yeah, what was coming up for me actually was all of you were picking up on the fact that it's like goal setting is something we do, whereas I think intention is much more about who we are being to reach that goal. Or, I mean, for me, I think emotional intention has been or is the area in which I focus on mostly. So, you know, my intention about how I want to feel in accordance to whether or not whatever the goals are that I might have, or the tasks that I want to complete that day, my intention is probably more focused around how do I want to feel during my day. So if, for example, like what Norms was saying, is that you've got all these ideas that you're going to do today and then suddenly things don't go to plan, still the intention is, for me, about making sure that I keep myself in a good high vibrating place, you know, that I'm feeling good, that if I'm not, that I need to do something. So living with that intention, which has become kind of, you know, I value how I feel. So I think intention and values are something that we need to link and put together, because values are also helping to, you know, for you to be the person that you need to be. And so I just wanted to clarify that point, that emotional intention, I think, is personally more important than the intention that you might assign with your goal setting, because I think the goal setting can do that itself, but the emotional intention is what's important, because that's going to keep you inspired to want to keep going, if that makes any sense. Am I making myself clear?
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of separating them out. And I'm wondering whether within an intention, there is an automatic connection to the heart, because we can't really make an intention, a true intention,
That's true.
I believe, certainly, without the whole of us being part of it. And so it's really, the intention is just that direction, just the sat nav direction, and everything else is what takes us to that direction. So absolutely, I love that there's an emotional intention, there's a spiritual intention, there's all of these intentions that fit around what would get us to that final thing, which is our goal, which, you know, is the journey rather than the completion of who we are. Something that came up with the idea of flow, and something it was resonating, is, you know, we were talking about our being in flow. So when we were allowing ourselves to sort of flow along and not have a direction, but that's so different from being in flow, right? Because being in flow is very much intention-led, very much intention-led. If you're in flow, you know that where you're going, you're following all the cues, all the directionality of what you have intended. It may not be, may be in the sway of the movement, but you're in the flow, you're in the energy of it. If you're kind of just floating around, or, you know, let your life be determined by outside influences necessarily, then that type of flow is really a not intention flow. So even though I think when Nomsa says her day goes all chaotic, she had an intention right at the very beginning, right? And the intention is a commitment to something of what you want. And Rachel, you said your commitments at the end of the day, I have an emotional intention. At the end of the day, I will always check in and check how my energy levels are. So in the same way with Nomsa, you know that things aren't going to go that way, but you still got an intention. Yep. You still know that it maybe the time frame needs to be amended, or maybe the way it's going to be is amended, but you've still got the intention. So you're very clear in giving that part of the brain. And I also think an intention has a very specific part to our brain called the reticular orientating center. And the reticular orientating center is really important in allowing us to kind of notice when we're off track, or to notice when something's going wrong, and to correct us. It's an orientating center. And that's why intention is so important, because we activate this orientation center. And it is really connected in this sort of in part of the brain as well, that actually is part of the eyes that actually just move us around and bring us back. It actually brings our head back into line, almost straight with our body. So our head connects to our body. It's a really interesting way in where it works. So yeah, when we're in flow, we're full of intention, and we're paying attention to what it is we're doing.
You're on silent.
Yes, I am. And we might learn as well to pay attention to the signs and everything, to being led as well to stay on the track with our intention setting too, because the intentions as well, when we set them, for example, as well, I do as well for my feelings, Rachel, is what I do is I am a yes for peace, for feeling at ease and for fun and everything. So this is what I say to myself in regards to how I would like to feel on that day, especially with some of the stuff going on. So I say I'm a yes for so and so and so, and this is how I state as well the feelings I would like to be. At the end of the day, I don't do this every day, but like then I would like sometimes to go back into the day and just see how that has worked out for me as well, just to do some reflection on what could I have done better as well. And something else as well, intentions and everything fine, but we have to do as well, like we have to do actions as well around it, just to set the intention, okay, fair enough, good too, but I found as well that this is a physical body, and it is as well set up and designed that we as well take actions in regards to what the intention is as well, so that even it falls, it's just a bit it falls better in place, it feels more aligned and so on. So if I want to feel great and so on, fun and at ease, that with peace, I have to do certain actions in regards to get this feeling too. So this might be a yoga class, a walk outside in the forest. It's just like certain things where I take action as well. So this is something as well what I have learned for me, action. As well, to bring the non-physical into the physical down as well. Nonsa, what's your little tip?
I love that. I love what Shireen said, and I love what Rachel said, and what you just said, Claudia. I think is very, very important to actually, like Rachel mentioned, intentions. When she feels, she controls her emotions, how she feels, and her intentions, her values are really important, like to put your values, who you are at that moment, to choose who you want to become. And that moment, I think is very, very, it's very, very important. And but some people may struggle with those following that. If you are struggling with like, let's say you set up the day and how your intentions, how you're gonna feel, even though the battles present themselves. So you just have to, what you need to do is what Rachel said, is remember your values. What are your values at that moment? And then take actions. And if you take actions, don't let fear overtake your life. Don't let doubt or lack of motivation. If you lack of motivation, you have to ask yourself, how do you want your day to look like? How are you going to feel when those goals are fulfilled? So how will it make you feel just to look at your life and see that you're taking actions without fear, without doubt? And even though there are obstacles in life, and just break down your goals into smaller chunks, and so you can manage in manageable steps. And when you do that, you make progress towards your goals. You build a momentum of confidence along the way. Is it easy? But it's not easy. It's not easy. It has not been easy for us to be where we are. But because we set our intentions, like I went to church yesterday, and the pastor, he was preaching, and it goes like, you only hear your intentions is to connect with God. Your intentions is to play, to pray, and manifest your blessings. But what do you do when you go out? When the phone rings, it tells you the news that you don't expect. What are you going to do? Are you going to stay connected, or are you just going to disconnect yourself, your feelings, and start screaming and shouting? Or are you just going to stay in that momentum where you need to be? So this is what Rachel was saying, basically, that we need to stay, we need to know, understand our feelings, understand our emotions, where we need to be that moment, even if life presents us with things that we didn't ask for. And like myself, every time I open an email, there's something that I didn't ask for. There's work that I didn't ask for, somebody presenting me with work. But what I do is I actually just, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm just not gonna get stressed. I'm just gonna keep it cool. I'm gonna live in the present moment and just do my best, what I can, to actually get to where I need to be without redirecting my emotions or my feelings, or changing how I feel, or reacting to the situation. I just keep it cool. And when I do keep it cool, it does help me to actually get to where I need to be. And if anyone is watching, guys, from LinkedIn, I know we have people that are watching LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and Twitter. Please feel free to comment, and feel free to ask any questions. Or if you feel that you have any valuable information that you think someone else might read and like it, how it's been able to help you, please feel free to leave a comment for everybody else to read it, and most for us coaches to read and connect with you. If we need to get in touch with you, we'll get in touch with you. But don't just watch and go to talk shows. Communicate with us, please. Over to you, Rachel.
You're muted.
I just want to swing back round to
She's adopting my style. Normally it's me that is talking muted.
No, so I just want to swing back round to the emotional part. And I think the reason maybe that for me is important is because I think we all need to go beneath the surface. And I think that anything that we are trying to achieve a certain outcome in life, it's not the thing that we're actually seeking, it's the feeling that we're seeking. And so, you know, when you set an intention, it's always worthwhile going in underneath that intention and having a look at, well, why is that so important? What is the feeling that I'm seeking? And asking yourself that question. So I just wanted to just reinforce that again, because I think it's really important, because at the end of the day, I think that's all anybody's trying to really achieve in life is to get a certain feeling, and whatever that is important to you. Happiness, people can say very freely, but there are these positive feelings, and depending on what it is that we're doing, whatever that task is, can actually ask for a different feeling that we're looking for. So yeah. And I think it's also important to be careful that when we don't use our intentions as a means to control our life, that's not what it's about, because our intentions are always changing as we evolve and as we grow. So it's not the same as a goal. You might have a goal that is, you need to do X, Y, and Z before the end of February, and that might not change, but your intention as you move through a month, through a season, they can change, because you're changing, you're evolving over time. And so I think that's another element to just highlight, as well as the giving yourself permission that you can change your intention. You know, if you've set it, it's not like, oh, well, that's it. This is the intention I made, therefore I can't move off it. I think, yes, you can. You can always update, change, tweak your intentions, because, like I said, we're changing. Certainly within a month, you know, where I am in one part of a month to the end of the month, let's say, I can feel very different because I'm in a different phase. Something different is happening in my life that, you know, I want to be more excited, or I want to have more peace. It all depends on what's going on in your life and the circumstances, etc. So, and the other point is, along with intentions, there's that element of having faith, and being able to surrender, so that, you know, this is who I want to be, this is, and this is where we've got to do, but how you're going to get there, that's the bit that we need to sometimes just relax into, which is sort of swings back around to my saying, don't allow your intentions to start being something that's controlling your life. Then it's working against you, not for you.
Wow. There were some things that jumped up for me when you said that, Rachel. It was, yeah, it just lit me up in some ways. One of the things that started to kind of become an overall thing, and maybe that's an overall philosophy or something, the idea that we change intentions, that's really powerful and beautiful. And I wonder, maybe there's something like a thread or a river or something that goes through the whole of our life, which is almost like a single intention. Mm-hmm. And then we go along little paths of intentions to take us to that main thread, because I suppose at the end of the day, all of us really want that feeling, which is what you're describing. We want to know that we're safe, we're happy, we're fulfilled in some way. And we know that along the way, there are little things that will get us to that, closer to that fulfillment. So we have that river or that stream of intention of what would be kind of a purpose or a lifelike thing. And then, you know, maybe for me to go along this journey, I get to learn this. So therefore, this is the intention for now, which makes it so flexible. It makes those other intentions, the ability that, you know, you haven't sold yourself out by changing an intention. There's a very deep intention, which is that thread that's throughout, that's that connection or that spiritual faith or something that's there. I suppose in my case, it's really about how do I get as close as I can to the Creator, right? As close as I can to God, or God, the God is God, all that is, and cleave so much that I no longer am separate from it in any way. How do I do that? Is by learning how to set different intentions that will help clear away and bring me closer to. So that gives me more of an idea, and it's a lovely, beautiful way in which you worded it, which was, you know, really that we have these different intentions, and they're not the same as goals, which I was also aware of what you were saying. You know, a goal is almost like a finite thing. Intentions, I kind of feel they're through time. They go beyond time, whereas a goal seems to have a fixed time. So you may have flexible goals, but there does seem to be that there would be a sort of an end in mind with a goal.
Yeah.
So the intention is more than a goal, as you said.
Yeah, beautifully.
Mm-hmm. I just had something as well coming up for me in regards to intentions. Sometimes as well, when we are fed up with something, it's circumstances or something, and then it's been repetitive, and then just the intention saying enough is enough, just to have this awareness and the intention can already make a big shift in the mindset as well, and even as well the outside circumstances then might change or completely be removed as well, because you were in this realization and intention as well. Enough is enough. Okay, so this is as well something how we can use intentions as well, just like to make the shift as well, so that something actually can be removed. Because at this stage as well, we might have realized as well the lesson or something as well behind it, and then it's just all the things come together, and then us being in our driver's seat, taking action as well and responsibility as well of our own life, and the shift can happen as quickly as just having this intention set. Something as in regards to Rachel with the feeling, yes, because when we are looking out for something, it's usually because we want a specific feeling. So until we don't have that thing being brought into our lives, I like to play around as well with how can I feel this way without this particular thing in my life right now, so that the goal doesn't happen out of lack. Because if we feel like we are lacking something, it's just a bit like a slow motion in regards to manifesting and bringing the thing into our life. So therefore, I would like the audience as well to change the thinking in regards to how can I have the feeling of this particular thing already in my life right now with something else instead. And then we already more fulfilled. We have this particular feeling associated with the intention or the goal, and then it's more relaxed as well. Yeah. And things can come easy as well into your life.
That's an important point that you've just touched upon, in the sense of our intent. When we can set an intention, and then for whatever reason you're thinking to yourself, this isn't working, what's going wrong, it's quite probably related to the fact that your desire and your beliefs, there is a mismatch. So when you start setting intentions, it will actually help you to uncover whether or not do you have a belief system that is not supporting what it is that you desire. Consciously, you know what you desire, and that's why you set your intention. But then on the other hand, you keep doing or behaving in certain ways that, for whatever reason, is not getting you where you want to be. And so it's a great opportunity then to look at, okay, what's going on, and it needs a shift in your mindset at that point to really be able to say to yourself, or that no, then you need to be making an intention that you're going to change your mindset so that your beliefs and your your beliefs and your desires are actually matching. So that would be probably the first great intention that you can start making for yourself with setting intentions.
I love that. I love that. I love how, Rachel, you said before that we are changing, we are growing, and I was thinking about it this morning, that when it comes to relationship, when we set our intentions to actually meet someone and have this loving and long-term relationship, we expect that person to remain the same, but they don't. They change, they grow. If we could actually make that effort to grow with that person, and our intentions would be to get to know that person and grow with them, and even grow into whatever stages, where stage 1 or stage 2, stage 3. But some people expect the relationship to stay into stage one, which is the time, how they made you feel when you guys met from the beginning and stuff. But it doesn't work like that. It changes. People grow. Like Shireen, before you did say that your spouse, when he comes from work, he doesn't want to lovely at the straight away. He likes to sit down and take a breathe. But I'm sure before, when you met, those were the things that he would do. But you got to know him, you got to grow with him, and your intentions are to love him for who he is and get to know him. And I think that is really, really amazing when Rachel says we are changing depending on where we are going with life. I think it's important as well. And what you said, Sharina, as well, it's like you are basically telling us to actually hold ourselves, staying accountable to our own intentions. And when we do that, that means we are holding ourselves accountable, turning good intentions into the results that we want. And I think one way to do that is to actually share our goals with others, with the people that we trust, the people that we know that they are not going to, their intentions. If we understand that someone's intentions towards us is to help us to grow, we can share our goals. And when we do that, it will help us to create that sense of accountability and also motivation as well to follow through with our intentions. And also the other thing is we need to, when your intentions is to grow and become that person that you already imagine in your head, and the feelings that when that happens, how are you gonna feel? Start celebrating small wins as well, because when you celebrate small wins along the way, it helps you to keep the record of where you've been. So when you actually do succeed and get to where you need to go, although the life is a journey, it's not a destination. The destination that we set is always, there's always going to be growth on it. It's never going to end. So if we learn to celebrate our small wins, and it will help us to stay focused and appreciate ourselves as well when we do reach where we need to be, so we don't feel like a float. And so that's how I feel. And also, when you set your intentions, there's gonna be setbacks. So I'm so curious from Rachel, how do you overcome those setbacks when they appear into your life that you didn't expect? Because if my intentions are, you know what, to keep growing and to keep setting up goals, and the feelings, if I know the feelings and my values, what I expect, but what if setbacks takes over? What do I do?
Yeah, good question. I'm thinking, my main approach to anything when something doesn't go as I had hoped it was going to go, the process, whatever it may be, is I kind of usually say to myself, it is what it is. That's the first thing I say to myself. And then again, it's just become my life, the way I live my life now. The next thing would be, okay, how am I feeling about it? And if I'm feeling not great, it's not that I dismiss how I feel. I allow that feeling to be there, but I know, because I have set a life intention for me, that it's important how I feel. I don't allow myself to hang around there. So to be honest, it doesn't really matter about what the setback is. I'm more concerned about getting me back to feeling good. And then once I've worked that out, which might have nothing to do with what the thing that's upset me or that has caused a setback, I will go off and do something completely different. And it could be a day, it could be a week, that just depends. And then once I'm back in feeling good, then it's okay, what do I do from here? Because now I'm more in alignment with myself, I'm more clear thinking, and I'm not going to make a decision or do something that is coming from a negative feeling because of what happened, because I know then I'm going to make the wrong decision, or it's going to take me further on down to another obstacle or another setback, because that's I never get this word right when I say it, trajectory. How do you say it? I can't say the word.
Trajectory.
What's the word? That it will just continue to keep me on that trajectory. So it's always important to keep coming back to yourself and working on you. So that's just what I do in my life now. It's all about working on me when something isn't going right externally. I know that there's something within me that I need to work on. And that can be a big thing, it can be a small thing. It all depends, really. So that's how I deal with my setbacks. I turn inward.
Yeah, and I think that is the key, isn't it, Rachel? You've got to turn inwards. I certainly think one of the big things is it's so easy to run into the denial to ourselves. So one of the key things that I often do is to sit next to my heart and I'll just say, what is it that I need to know? What is it that I need to know? And I try and be very gentle and compassionate to myself. I've learned that, and it's taken a while. Yeah, it takes a journey to learn that actually you have to be kind to yourself and you have to just go, okay, gentle kindness and gentle inquiry into why, what's going on, what's the deeper truth here? The deeper truth here is if you keep doing this behavior, then this is very likely to happen. The deeper truth is, and if the more you keep saying that to yourself, the more you keep going into what will happen, and you look at those trajectories and you look at what it could be, what happens is your brain starts to do a particular kind of pattern that actually starts to find for you a new way of looking at things. And so this is a really important thing for relational kind of reasoning. And what happens is, you, like Rachel, you said it may take a week, it may take a day, but during that period of time, you're thinking and your brain is starting to work in a way that's forward thinking for you. It's because you're letting your emotions be in a very stable place. You've committed to keeping your emotions in that place. So you're kind of giving that direction already for your brain to go, hey, go and find me a solution. I might not know what that solution is, but please find the solution so I can stay committed to my intention, right? Because you're giving the brain the opportunity to do that. And when we go into compassion and when we go into kindness, what happens is we don't go into the stress response. And so the body starts to say, oh, I'm pretty safe. I'm pretty okay. I can go now and think, right? It's not trying to take you into places where you're going to be fighting. So in that space, you're more likely, you actually really enhance the functioning of your brain. You enhance your mindset. And that is what gives you the resilience. Because when the ideas do come, there's a deeper sense of congruence and coherence within yourself, or alignment. And that gives you a sense of a little more grit. I have personally, I found that it gives me a little more grit to get up in the morning and do exercises if I have to do them. Something, even if it's just one thing. And also, I think from one of the things which really is kind of useful, how do you get out of things? Just do one thing. Don't try and change the whole thing. Try and just think, well, what would make the biggest difference right now? If that's just looking after your mood, just making sure that you're okay, then that's the biggest thing that you can do, because that's the first step. And to get to that first step is the key, right?
Yeah.
You've got to get back on track. You've got to do that first step.
Yeah, absolutely. Because feeling down low, negative, or fearful, shame and guilt, these are very low vibrations. And actually as well, to be honest, nothing good, no good decision can come out of these lower vibrations. So therefore it's always important to to take a break, and before we make a decision in regards to the next thing, to get out of these low vibrations. And a bit like what Shireen is doing, to ask the question and to go inward. I do this as well. I ask, my question is, what is this moment for? I ask myself as well the question, a bit like you do, Shireen, too. And then I'm I'm connecting with my inner being or my higher self, basically, as well, or the intuition, however you would like to call it. So this is how I like to connect to, and then get the answers as well, the solutions, and not focusing on the problems, rather as well shift the focus and the mindset and to go on the solution, not staying in the problem, shifting. And there was something else I wanted to say. Yeah, with the setbacks as well, when I have something that's not really working how I intended it to be for me, I've got this new thing, asking as well, how can this work for me? Rather than I might be thinking in this moment it is against me. I'm trying to see where it's actually working for me. This is as well a good question, so that we can start as well. Because by just asking this question, we can already see as well maybe some learnings also on why this actually is happening right now. So just like asking good questions, because then we might get the answers, and the brain or the mind, the feeling, the sensation, however we get the answers, asking good questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. To every question, there's always the answer is always given. You might not know it at that time, but that's where that surrender and that faith comes in. That I've also started to see in my life, that if I put out the question, even if I'm just asking yourself, it's like blah, 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 blah. And then it's really having that trust and faith to just say, that answer is going to come to me if I just let go, and then just go off and do something for the rest of your day. And like, before you know it, something will pop in, or something will happen, or something will pop on your phone, your email, you'll see a video, something will be, and you'll be like, that's the answer. That's what I need to do. It will just come in. But the more we try to think, okay, this has gone wrong, now I need to fight the problem, I need to go out there, and you put all your energy into something that's already not going well, you're just stirring it up to make it go even worse. Right? So, yeah. I think
and I think what's really important, I guess, also is to acknowledge that feeling which you were talking about earlier on. It's really just stop and acknowledge it, because it's there. Whatever it is, it's your feeling, and it's what you're experiencing, and it's nothing to be ashamed or bothered or worried about. It's just a feeling that is giving you some indication that you need to do something, right? That the circumstances that you're experiencing is out of alignment with where you've intended. That's all. That's all it's giving you. It's not giving you anything else. And so therefore, by doing that, just being, just truly taking that time to just kind of acknowledge that feeling, and not making yourself wrong, just going, yeah, this is what it is, and I know as we get older, that's probably easier sometimes, because we've got through a lot of stuff. But if you're younger, to really just trust that you do have the answers. You do have the answers. What you don't have yet is the mechanism of how to get them enough, that, like, for someone that's a little bit older that may have learned to trust more by experience, just to know that it is there and give it a go, give it a try. Because the moment you ask yourself, which we're talking, and actually you were just giving an intention there. You were saying, okay, this is what I want. This is how I'm feeling this. Go and find the answer for me, please, right? I don't know where it is in this greater awareness yet, because I don't have a link to it. But if I just give it that, my little sat nav is going to go and find it, right? It's got an intention now to go and give me the answer. I'm just not getting in the way of the answer.
Love that.
Yeah. And I think that's that's what I'm interpreting from you, because I think that's exactly what you were saying. And so, I think just give it a go. Anybody that's struggling, just to ask those questions, which is simple, and in the sense of, well, what is this about? What, how is this for me? These are presuppositions that are saying, hey, this is another truth. This is a truth. I mean, there's lots of truths. Everything is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you have a belief that things are for you and you ask that question, then your brain is going to say, thank you. I'm going to wander off and go and find your answer for you. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, I wonder how many people have gone to bed at night and they've thought about something, and in the morning they've woken up and they've got the answer, right? Or they've had a dream, or they have all sorts of things like that. We get so much information when we let go. And when we sleep, obviously, that's the ultimate let go, because we're not conscious in the same way anymore. But there's still things, processes working in our mind all the time. So it just shows this parallel processing and serial processing that happens in the brain is forever going. So just trust yourself. Trust that you can ask that question and give it a go.
I love that. I love that mindset of shifting things and not ignoring them, but telling them that, you know what, I'm not going to make myself wrong, and I'm not going to make you wrong. But at this moment, I've got somewhere where I need to be. I think turning those words, and actually, Claudia, as well, you mentioned that we need to commit to our intentions, not feeling shame, not feeling guilty, and not feeling fear as well, self-doubt. I think is very, very important. Some people do go to a stage where they feel ashamed, they feel guilty, there's self-doubt, there's fear. But guess what? This is what life is about. Life is about it's like changing. If you look at how the universe works, it's not just standing there waiting for you to finish whatever your intentions or fulfill your goals or do whatever you like. Yes, we can do whatever we want, but there's gonna be some things, some energy that are gonna come and interfere with our intentions. It's very, very important to know that life is happening for us, not for me, like to say, you know what, life, why this me, why do I have to go through this? And Bob Proctor always talk about the paradigm, how it works. And before I couldn't understand it, but as I go deep and reading the Bible and meditating, now I'm starting to understand that our intentions cannot be changed unless we decide to change them. Whatever the plans that we make, and even if they go wrong, but our intentions will stay the same. Like, this is where I need to be. This is what I need to feel. And I think it is very, very important. Like, I think you girls mentioned that shifting your focus is very, very important to actually shift your focus and staying in that journey where you need to go, no matter how much you're feeling. But you need to, as long as you are in the present moment. For me, I've taught myself, my emotions, my mind, no matter what happens, I need to stay in the present moment. And when I do that, being in that present moment, it helps me to actually, when I'm presented with things that I didn't ask for, it helps me to actually keep going. And also knowing that I have, Claudia, you mentioned that stay connected to our higher self. For me, I tell myself that because I believe in God, and I need to stay connected to God regardless of whatever the situation that may come my way. And also, Rachel, you mentioned that when you seek the solution, we might not see it that moment, but it will be presented to us. And that's what I believe as well, that if you keep your intentions and seek help or whatever, however your beliefs that might be. For me, it's like, I say out loud, I'm like angels of God. Go into my foundation. I'm like, you know, the foundation of my family tree, you know, the foundation of my life. But now things are not going how I have planned. Can you go and restore my intentions and the results that are meant to be? Because sometimes your intentions can be changed just because positive, and also because of your destination. So when we talk about manifestation and we talk about getting the results, but there are some other energies that will want to say, no, I'm saying no to your success, or I'm saying no to your intentions of wanting to succeed this year, 2023. But if you keep those intentions and keep your journey and just keep sending the energy of wanting to succeed, I find that is amazing. When you don't change your intentions, regardless of whatever is going on, and refuse to be knocked down and refuse that shame. I always say, God, turn my shame into joy, turn my guilty into joy, turn whatever is meant to give me sorrow. You know, my intentions when it comes to my life is very, very important. If you believe in the universe, say out loud, ask the universe, tell the universe that it knows your intentions. So your intentions should remain. If they have to be different, it's going to be something that is going to help you to grow. So I always say that out loud, like, God, you know my intentions, you know where I need to be. Carry me through my journey. Carry me through my destination. And I'm like, if I don't understand, and I intend to actually wait, not take action, and the answer will be presented to me. Over to you, Rachel.
Well, it's nearly 3 o'clock.
Yes.
Shall I just share quickly?
Yes, you can share quickly, and after sharing, tell the audience who you are and where they can find you, please.
Yeah, so
while you are in the moment.
So as a result of working with me, with my coaching programs, individuals who are really kind of struggling with themselves, lovingly heal and accept themselves. They confidently express their authentic voice, and they compassionately turn their inner wounds into wisdom. And so I'm really looking for women and men who are eager to get to know themselves on a deeper level, and they want to experience a strong, heartfelt connection with themselves. They want to have an inner coach rather than a inner critic, and they'd rather live a more joyful and peaceful lifestyle. So if you know somebody, send them my way. You can reach me at www.rachel-g.com, and on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's under Rachel G Healing. And I do offer a free PDF, which is called Self-Love Starts Here. If you're interested in starting your self-healing and acceptance journey, you can click on the link, which we will put in the bottom of these show notes, but you can also get it on my social media platforms. So, Shireen.
So thank you very much. I help women and men working with mental fitness. So really, I believe that in order to truly be your best self, you need to know that your mind is working well. When our mind works well, everything works well. Now, our mind is a combination of our body and our brain. Yeah, it's not separate from those two. And our mind is also the extension of all of us. So when people come to see me, they're particularly looking at how we can go step by step by building the mental capacities to help you be able to deal with all those negative mindsets that kick in, that then cause pain in the body at some level. So I'm doing a mental fitness coaching. I'm starting on the 17th of November. So if anyone is interested, I will leave a brochure over here for you to do that. And you can get hold of me on ShireenLovegrove.com. You can get hold of me on Shireen Lovegrove on LinkedIn and all the social medias. You just really have to type in Shireen Lovegrove. I'm in there. So I'm all around.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Claudia there?
Yes, absolutely. And just a little motivation as well, inspiration for the audience. Please just try to set the intention as well in the morning for the day. Keep playing with it, because again, if you bring this new into your daily routine, it takes a bit of practice until you just know how to best apply it for yourself. And I'm Claudia Prischer. I'm intuitive energy healer. I do theta healing as well. I'm a mindset coach, and theta healing is an energy healing modality. It's fantastic for identifying limiting beliefs right at the root, not just the surface, not a bandage thing. It is right going to the root and changing them instantly, and to bring in new empowering beliefs. Because when we have new beliefs, we go out, make new choices, and therefore as well attract a different reality in our life.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies. For me, I would just say take actions and hold yourself accountable to your intentions. It's very, very important to turn your good intentions into your real results, but only you can do that, not anybody else. And also remember to break down your big goals into small chunks, step by step, so you can actually have progress into your life. And if you do find yourself presented with the setbacks, it is normal. It does not mean that it's gonna be there permanent. It's just there temporal. Just deal with it and don't make yourself wrong. Shireen mentioned that in the beginning. And know that everything is gonna work out fine, but as long as you're willing to keep taking action. And we are here at Nkosi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. And please, if you want to connect with any of our coaches, please, one of our coaches, please send an email to the website. You can see my website there. There's a phone number. You can choose to ring the office or just email, or simple send a message through social media. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So you can send a message there, and I'll connect you with whoever you want to stay connected with, and can find your own voice, lead from within. Thank you so much. Live with grace, everyone, and God bless.
Bye-bye. Nomsa, did you just say earlier that you can stream as well onto LinkedIn with?
We're still live.